you move, and there certainly are a lot of like rooms here. The people are gone as they've been pulled into evacuation, so you don't really meet anyone. Did you want to like find a room to store up in, or do you just want to like try getting there physically yourself, all of you, just moving there?
Yeah, I should probably try to get there physically.
It depends which way we go with this, because if we go with a small room, you'll be on defending duty mostly.
Yeah.
Would the alarm have shut down the drone access tunnels in any significant
No,
way?
most likely it's using them to send the drones to come get you.
Awesome. Then we hole up somewhere where we can preferably not be found for a little bit, while I'll send some drones out and try to shoot them up.
Mm-hmm.
So how are you going to find a place where you won't be found?
Are we or how we? Oh, sorry.
How are you? I'm
Mm.
asking, how do you do that? Because right now you're sort of moving, you come to this like station area where there's a different hallways, and you know sort of the layout, at least where the elevator would be centrally. There's a few of them, and then there's like stairs. The stairs are mostly used for emergency use, which of course makes sense that they're open right now, because you know people need to get to the evacuation zone. To which also like there are like signs on the walls with like a little arrow that's like showing the way to the evacuation room.
I don't really have anything that can do that. Really. I can't justify anything at least.
How about hiding on top of an elevator? No one's going to look there.
And perhaps something we could do is, once we're hidden, instead of so much also finding the perfect hiding spot, we improve whatever hiding spot we do get by, say, as you went, perhaps setting off an alarm, like setting off a false alarm somewhere else.
Just blunting the sensors also like around the elevator or something. Like, yeah, the elevator doesn't seem to be anything particular with it.
Sure.
I mean,
So I suppose we have you running to an elevator then.
Sure. And getting up the service hatch and on top of it.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, you run in the elevator and then like crawl up the hatch and sit on top of the thing.
Yep.
Nice shaft. You know, the service hatch is troll-sized, so it's not really a problem getting through. Let's get to the top of it. Close it under you, perhaps. You can hear the blaring alarm outside.
Then fake alarm
Well,
elsewhere.
Yeah,
that's in place. I guess the Sealer would rig up and send out his drones to crawl into the service hatches and go and find the dude.
Well, you do one of them in primary, right?
Mhm.
Yep.
Just to control them secondarily, you have to be able to see what they're doing.
Meanwhile, Ashley's going to try and set off a false alarm elsewhere.
So which drone is being sent off?
It would be guns.
Yeah, the ones that kills.
So it's like spidering its way.
Doing its spider way with its claws and stuff. Like
For today, he's been rebranded as Assassin Drone 01.
Oh, he's Warburg.
Moving into,
I have silencers on him. It's like super stuff.
Moving into the way. Well, Siegler is moving into the way as his body just slumps over,
Yes.
unconscious, helpless,
Yes, like a baby.
fragile, laying there. What's the rest of you doing as he crawls into some tunnel?
I said one thing Ashley would like to try then is to essentially, herself also probably going limp with this, of trying to cause a false alarm elsewhere in the building to divert attention away from us and from the drones.
So you want to hack into the actual network? Then.
Yes.
All right. So
Well, there's opportunity.
hot sim or cold sim?
We need this to count. We need this to count. Hot sim cables in.
All right. Then she's gonna pass out completely as well, leaving Vice and True Warrior to stand here amongst these two completely collapsed buddies of theirs.
They're on guard duty.
So awkward.
Yeah.
Just eyes rolled up, like laying.
We just sit down, start having
Oh
a
my
nice
god,
chat.
we put Ziegler and Chuvor in a weird position together.
Yes,
Oh, they're kissing.
we like put their legs over each other and like.
I just imagine Chubor, you bringing out her tea set.
Yeah,
You know,
I
start
honest-
making
Sitting
tea.
down, meditating in the
Cross-
clearing.
Meditating,
cross-legged.
definitely. Tea, no, not in this situation.
Well, I suppose Matrix stuff happens very fast. Generally, it's moving by the speed of thought. So I suppose we have your attempt to get into this system, Asher, as you hot sim in. Now you're going to have increased effect on everything because you're in hot sim. However, everything is also going to be increased danger to you.
Things are trying to kill me.
because you can, when you die in hot sim, you die in real life, as it turns out.
Wait, we'll try.
Yeah, it'll try to kill you if it can. Well, the system anyway. And you certainly would, the first thing you do is reach the public access thing, where it's like, you can hook up your devices to this network and you will have nice Matrix access to go on things. They have pretty good Matrix security, though for now it would just be white ice hanging around.
Actually,
You
takes a few
haven't
moments.
been tracked yet, but it's probably not going to take long before they're going to try.
Actually, takes a few moments looking around, finding a rather annoying advertisement, first swiping it in two.
Sure. She's
Before-
a spider right now, after all.
Before heading up to one virtual wall, and this is her domain now. She's in hot sim.
Like
And
there's
she-
like tunnels and stuff, but you can fly through the walls. She has no clip mode
Mhm.
in hot sim.
Going simply up to the wall, and just leaping through it to the other side, going beyond the public terminal.
All right. So what I'm going to do here, because there is a lot of people here who are also going to try to find you, is I'm going to start a clock with 4 ticks,
I'm being tracked.
right? Which is tracked. When this is up, they have found you, and and drones will automatically be sent to fetch you. Yeah. So let's see. I mean, they're gonna try to, the system is picking you for like information of who are you? What's log in basically.
Sure. Perhaps then, Ashley seeing these appear. Well, she's just going to flood, just send a flood, which to anyone inside would just appear like a swarm of spiders, a flood of data to just keep the system busy.
All right.
So she doesn't have to answer these questions.
So we see basically like what looks like a club entrance with like a big troll, a digitized like troll made of light, stand there in a suit with like a list and be like, like, oh, hello, are you on the list? And then I suppose we see this spider crawling up, and then just like we zoom out, and there's just like a million spiders in lines, just besieging this poor guy with his list. All right. So do your roll. See if you can
Sure.
just keep security
I don't-
busy, I suppose.
I don't know if that's security yourself, but it doesn't matter. They're the same. So
Yeah.
I'm going to push my cyber deck for this
All right.
to get 2 dice.
Yes, you do it. I will add a tract on there. But yeah, you push past security and into the network. You basically go in there and you see like the different control rooms and stuff like that. There are of course ice in here patrolling, looking for trouble. White ice primarily. Since these people don't really believe in killing anyone if they can avoid it.
Mhm.
Yeah. So they could attempt to find you. What sort of functions would you try to access first?
Well, the primary thing, of course, as you're looking for, is the alarm system itself. Is what you're trying to go for.
Huh?
So essentially the first thing she's going to try and is just track down the alarm controls, and then essentially she wants to forge a false one.
Right. Where's she gonna try to trigger an alarm?
Well, we know the general layout of the building, so based on where we basically are and wherever our target is, essentially try to put one decently far away, but not far, far, but still like in a okay. I could see how they could have got there. Somewhere that's plausible, but far enough away that it will at least buy us time.
All right. So like tack one of the other elevators in the other building or something with, like forced entry or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Something that'd be like believable. Of okay, they're there, but it'll still buy us enough time that
All
buy
right.
us
Sure.
just enough time.
Yeah. Well, you're in hot sim, so it's a desperate action for great effect.
Sure. Would this be one of my cybertech actions? Or would you say it'd be an electronics roll to do this?
Well, what do you think?
I don't feel like this is combat, security, stealth, or survey. Really, this is just seemingly me more manipulating the system.
Sure. The danger here is naturally that they find you and that it takes time.
Mm-hmm. That is, of course, the major danger. Mm-hmm. This is a desperate moment right now. So let's see what happens with this. I'm going to go ahead and push myself for this.
Mm-hmm.
Because turns out I don't particularly want, I want to get this done as quick as possible.
Yeah. Makes a lot of sense.
Ooh. All failures.
Well,
Also because I can Fey Monster.
Huh. I suppose you attempt to trigger this. I mean, you could of course re-roll that for the karma cost, but you wouldn't get the extra die and stuff. From any of your options, but other than that, it seems like you don't do it, right? So this system, though it seems really approachable and friendly, that's probably mostly just a front. Behind this, however, there's like another form that appears. This is a form of like a man in like it basically looks like a mage, right? He has like a robe and a book that he's holding up with like glowing sigils as he just walks out of the wall looking upon you, raising his hand and like to basically like cast a spell of you. As the spell is made of like ones and zeros, basically like a big fireball of it that just sort of sears towards you. From the side, blasting you. This is probably one of the system administrators that have managed to find your attempt and is trying to incapacitate you.
Could I leave my signature on the previous attempt?
You want to say this is me?
It's, essentially, one of the things she would have done is just kind of casually slip some more spiders in there.
All right, sure. One of the reasons that he might have time to do that is probably because you left like a huge spider first. Yeah, sure.
Sure. Which we can have a fortune roll for that afterwards, I suppose, to see exactly what other repercussions that could have. But
yeah.
But he's saying this towards me.
Yeah. And the consequence would, of course, be that I would tack all of these. You've been tracked. It's a desperate action. That means 3 ticks. As we basically see that, he walks out and says like the arcane words that are really just gibber. This is this guy's choice of what his administrator looks like.
This would be the consequence for failure. Would be being completely tracked out.
Yeah, he knows where you are in the system, though you're still hidden in the in the corridor. The cavalry hasn't arrived yet.
Sure.
And with that, we go to the Ziegler's drone as he's moving through the system. He probably has still got like the network so he can speak to you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Would make sense. Maybe one of you has. That's a good question. How are you going to navigate these tunnels?
How?
Yeah, the drone tunnels.
I mean, he climbs.
Yeah, but like, how are you going to find the right place?
I mean, we had a layout of the building, didn't we?
Uh-huh.
Otherwise, oh yeah. I mean, with that map, I mean, with the map in his head or the general layout, he would also use his, I guess, I don't know, his engineering knowledge maybe to suss out the most effective way or the most likely way to go or layout or function of the tunnels to find his way. Like, oh yes, these are these type of tunnels. That means that a water main is this way, which would mean that this would connect to like this type of apartment or whatever.
Yeah. All right, so I guess we'll just fortunate for how long it takes.
Sure.
It takes some time, to say the least, because it's not that easy. Like these tunnels don't go the same way that the roads go. They sort of zigzag up and down and go around all sorts of cables and whatnot. So it takes a little bit of time, but eventually he does like find the proper access tunnel, and there's like a grate there that's closed, like because there's not supposed to be any service right now. That he can probably like smack open or something.
Yeah.
So you're in like a big room. It looks like you're sort of in by the door, really. You know, and you hear like someone talking in another room in a phone, like a computer. Like he's like, just get here. I don't have time for this. They're all over me. This is definitely the same case. Speaking. So as you're here, it doesn't appear that he's heard the sound of like the little decks and falling to the ground here. You look around the room. Basically, there's a few drones like on shelves and stuff here. This person seems to be a bit of a drone aficionado. There's a lot of tech in here. It's a very nice apartment. So you could probably just, if you could loot this thing, you'd be very happy.
Yeah, sadly, not an option.
I mean,
yeah. In that case, guns out, and you'll just blast this guy.
So,
Light him up
With silencers.
with silencers. Yes.
So on the elevator, basically, you can sort of hear like the alarm growing like growing louder. You know, as you hear like someone like run on the you know, someone's checking the elevator under you, opening the door, like looking in, like, you know, like, clear, and then moving on. The sound of boots and stuff. They're searching this area where you are. What are you doing in here? What are you doing here too?
Keeping quiet.
Keeping quiet and keeping an eye on where we came from.
We'll send
down the hatch.
Yeah, we'll send a text to Ashley saying, we're running out of time. Because I imagine it would pop up in virtual world for her.
So you're just sort of sitting on the ground or sitting on the top of the elevator, just sort of sitting around.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, ready to, like...
Weapons ready, perhaps?
Yeah.
No, because, well, what... I have my fist when I'm not to hurt people.
I have my my taser ready.
That is such a gay taser.
Hey, alright. It's pretty and sparkly, okay? Just because I got
there's
it...
diamonds in it?
Just because I got it when I was famous doesn't mean that it doesn't work. Alright. How do you use it on a lot of creeps?
A number of creeps has been sent away with this item.
Yeah. As it turns out, 150,000 volts hurts.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. All right. So I suppose we look back in the room as Ezekielbot moves over, and as you sort of turn around the corner and look into the room where this guy is, it basically is a room. It has like a. I mean, this is a nice apartment, but you didn't think it would be this nice. And not in terms of luxury. This is clearly like a workshop room. Like this guy has his own personal area for work. There's like computers everywhere, and there's in the middle there's like a platform table thing with like a sphere of Earth, like hologram Earth, turning here, with like a pinging location of where he's probably calling, and that certainly is pinging like in Russia, probably headquarters. Is he talking to? He's a man of not a great stature. He looks like he's a little hunched over. He would probably be very attractive young man if he wasn't like he hasn't had good sleep for a month, for 2 months, for way too long. He is clearly on his nerves. He's holding like his finger up to the contact in his ear. It's not really a phone. It's more like just like an earpiece he's speaking to, and with his hands, he's doing something that just isn't done really. His fingers are sort of swirling around in a circular motion, and you see a little cloud of moving electrical matter, what seems to be very tiny drone-like nano machines, sort of moving with his motion. A weird sort of bluish ethereal energy surrounding them as he swirls them around, almost like ice in a glass of martini with his hand.
He's a technomancer.
Just sort of playing with them.
Foulest of heretic.
As he speaks, he turns to look at the thung 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 of the machine coming up, and he just sort of like looks at it, looks right at the camera lens, right, and opens his mouth to speak. Do you give him a chance to speak?
No. I'm done with this. I'm done with this.
So what's the Zila Bud?
Warburg has his dual machine guns with silencers, and he has unloads on the guy.
Just a full
Shoot him up.
frontal.
Yep. Yes.
Perhaps even being overclocked, stressing out.
All right, this is definitely a desperate role.
Sure.
This guy is not defenseless. He's a high-level Evo employee, which means he probably is cybered up to the teeth.
Mhm.
Beyond that, he has abilities with technology that aren't common, to say the least.
So gonna push poor Warburg here. Give him an extra.
Stress him out a bit.
Yep, stress him out a bit because we need to hit.
Now, of course, you'd be using your own range because you're in primary mode.
Yes.
Which means you would probably just use him. Like you'd not push him. You would just use him to assist, right?
Yes. His targeting
He does give you
sensors
a
or whatever.
bonus. He does give you a bonus dice for range combat, though.
He does.
He does, and another one for assisting.
Yes.
Mhm.
Now you are doing limited effect here. That is worth noting.
Okay.
But yeah.
5.
5. All right. So a salvo, I suppose, sort of smacks into his body as he slumps over, like like his hand moving away from the earpiece, like he just stares at the machine, right? As he moves his hand with the little cloud around his fingers towards it, and begins to whisper like coughed words as the drones on his walls begin to sort of just hop down from their shelves and rise up with the energy around them, almost as if numbers and such. His computer systems begin to light up, and like no one's pressing the buttons, but the screen still moves through the menus rapidly. With the consequence of that 5 being that he gets shot, but that doesn't stop him from talking particularly, or from using his ability. You can of course resist that.
Okay. How? Yes, I would like to resist.
All right. How come he's unable to talk? Like,
Mm. Mm. I mean, okay, like, I'm not sure. Actually, like, could it be like something like a lot of bullets have been fired, so walls and ceilings and everything's been hit. A lot of dust in the air. Maybe he's just got like flecks of like concrete and stuff in his lungs, and he's coughing violently instead.
You would generally argue something like Ziegler knows when he sees this electronic cloud that this man is some sort of spell person, and so he has targeted like the ceiling and the vase nearby that's made of like plaster to make this dust appear, right?
Okay,
And
sure.
that would probably be like a maybe presence because you have a sense of the situation, like you've taken a survey of the area, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or it could even be logic as a you know about these sort of mage
Knows.
people.
Sure.
Is prepared to target
Sure.
them.
Like he has like shot up things in here that has, I don't know, like lead or copper or something flecks flying around, which might act as a sort of shaft almost for these medical things, disturbing it and making it difficult to work? Question mark? Sure.
All right.
If I can roll my logic for that, I'll do it.
Yeah, sure.
A 6.
You take no
No karma
for
damage.
resisting that.
Yep.
As he like spatters and like tries to speak the flickering of the machines and such jerked movements as he just like looks desperately at the thing, the machine that's come here to kill him. The poor man.
Mm-hmm.
In the Matrix,
Meanwhile,
how do you how do we see the spider dealing with this admin mage who has come out of the walls to explode her with bands,
No,
kick
not
you
the
out of the
bands.
system, and maybe even kick you out of your mind because you're in a vulnerable state right now.
How dare they?
Now he's not in hot sim, so you're much faster than him.
I am much faster than him. I have much.
You're having great effect on him, which means that whatever you do is gonna be extra effective, basically.
Mm-hmm. Well, with Ashley in the in her rapid kind of motion she's in right now, perhaps weaving together this huge ball of webs, or even many of them, ignited in blue fire, will launch them towards the administrator. Just attempt to basically knock him out of the system before he could do too much.